Welcome back to another edition of the Redline Report, powered by HireMaster. I'm Trey Griggs, and today we're going to discuss the effects of the Atlantic hurricane season, for-hire truck tonnage data, the F.M.C.S.A's new administrator, and much more. Let's go. The 2022 Atlantic hurricane season has already threatened the U.S. freight markets in addition to the marked increase in damage and loss of human life. Due to little to no hurricane activity recorded in the Atlantic Ocean at the beginning of August, hurricane researcher at Colorado State University, Phil Klotzbach, predicted a below-average hurricane season and said, quote, "It was really dead. We had no storms in August, which was the first time since 1997, end quote. However, the initial forecast was disregarded after Hurricane Fiona and Hurricane Ian made landfall. Hurricane Fiona crashed against Canada's eastern fishing and farm industries, costing an estimated $2 to $4 billion in damages and economic loss. This does not include an estimated $10 billion in additional damages and economic losses from Fiona and Puerto Rico right before clearing a path towards the East Coast. As of the time of this report, Hurricane Ian's damages and overall costs are still being evaluated. Many local Florida residents continue to be without power. According to CoreLogic, a leading global property information provider, total damages and economic loss is estimated to land in the range of $28 to $47 billion. The company's associate vice president of hazard and risk management, Tom Larson, said, quote, "This is the costliest Florida storm since Hurricane Andrew made landfall in 1992, and a record number of homes and properties were lost due to Hurricane Ian's intense and destructive characteristics," end quote. Hurricane Ian's impact on freight markets has also been destructive, and based on previous hurricane impact reports, it's anticipated that the market will remain unstable in the coming weeks and months leading into the holiday season. Also inside the numbers this week, the American Trucking Association has published reports reflecting their seasonally adjusted for-hire truck tonnage data. In August of this year, SA for-hire truck tonnage index increased 2.8%. Just 1 month ago, the same index had decreased 1.5%. The ATA chief economist, Bob Costello, analyzed the post-pandemic report and said, quote, "Tonnage snapped back in August after a weaker than expected July. With the economy in transition to slower growth and changing consumer patterns, we see more volatility in the months ahead. But the good news is that we continue to witness areas of freight growth in consumer spending and manufacturing, which is helping to offset the weaknesses in new home construction," end quote. An additional contributing factor to the SA for-hire truck tonnage index were shipments. According to the August 2022 CAS Transportation Index report, shipments increased 3.6% on a year-over-year basis in the month of August. On a seasonally adjusted basis, shipments increased 5.5% on a month-over-month. Research suggests that these developments are a direct result of successful discounting in retail, seasonally inventory builds, easing supply constraints, and recovery from the China lockdowns. Based on data reported, this was the most notable increase since June of 2018. Additionally, in 2022, the year-to-date tonnage overall increased 3.9%. In comparison to last year, the SA for-hire truck tonnage index for the month of August increased 7.4%. As we look into freight insights this week, on the heels of record-breaking profits, the world's largest container shipping companies are reinvesting those profits in a record number of new build cargo vessels set to be delivered over the next 3 years. This pattern continues the cycle seen in both shipping and trucking, in which massive profits lead to a capital investment in capacity, which then kills demand and lowers shipping rates, cutting into profits. This cycle appears to be coming at a time when demand has already begun to dwindle, as inventories reach record levels and warehousing reaching full capacity. In a report last Tuesday, Alphaliner warned of the challenges this current cycle will most likely face, stating that, quote, "A huge number of new large container ships are going to hit the water at a time of stagnating demand, and the market could struggle to absorb all these new ships," end quote. The scale of the new build cargo vessels is unprecedented, as the number of new ships entering the market will be 2.6 times greater than the average of the largest single infusion of container space in the market. Although some of these ships will allow companies like Maersk and Alphaliner to retire older vessels, there is still a lingering question of whether or not the market will be able to absorb the additional capacity and what this will do to shipping rates and profit margins in the following decade. as many areas on the East Coast have too much water from Hurricane Ian. States in the Midwest are experiencing a different kind of problem when it comes to water. Not enough of it, specifically on the Mississippi River, which is one of the busiest rivers for transporting freight in the United States and the top route to get U.S. grains and soybeans to the world market. Nearly 100 barges are unable to move as the waters of the Mississippi have reached near historic lows with little hope of additional waters filling it up anytime soon, especially as water from feeding tributaries in the north begin to freeze with cooler temperatures. The impasse will have a major impact on other commodities such as fertilizer, metals, and petroleum products, causing the American Commercial Barge Line to post on its website that this drought has caused the most severe impact to navigation in 35 years. And the timing of this catastrophe couldn't be worse, as the soybean and grain harvests are only about 20% complete. The impending harvest will most likely cause even more backlogs, as grain analysts in St. Louis remark that they are, quote, creating piles everywhere, end quote. The problem lies in La Nina, which is peaking and limiting incoming fall storms that typically replenish the rivers, keeping many from any semblance of hope. Without a major storm on the horizon, World Weather Inc.'s president, Drew Lerner, said recently, quote, I'm a little pessimistic and not feeling good about the situation, end quote. And in the news this week, with the United States Senate's confirmation of Robin Hutchison as the new administrator of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, Hutchison is hitting the ground running. Having gained the support of the Commerce Committee back in June, Hutchison has turned her focus to alleviating bottlenecks in the supply chain, increasing technological advancements in trucking, and implementing safety initiatives for drivers. In a recent interview with Transport Topics, Hutchison said, quote, now, more than ever, Americans are acutely tuned in to how our goods get to our homes. From the flour for the bread we eat, the clothes we wear, the bed we sleep in, we all have a better understanding that it probably came on a truck, end quote. Hutchison's nominations garnered the applause of the American Trucking Association, with ATA President Chris Spears remarking that, quote, in her time as acting administrator, Robin has been a true partner with our industry, working to confront a number of issues facing trucking, end quote. Also in the news this week, America's Commercial Transportation Research, referred to as ACT and recognized as the leading publisher of commercial vehicle industry data, market analysis, and forecasting services for the North American market, has conducted and published research on North American Class 8 orders for the month of September 2022. ACT research reported an all-time record high of over 53,000 North American Class 8 orders. Based on last year's reports, only 27,155 Class 8 orders were received. With most truck manufacturers opening their dealer order boards for the 2023 year, ACT Vice President Steve Tam said, quote, it is possible, too, that the truck makers can't hold back any longer and their customers are demanding their trucks. Prices can be negotiated depending on circumstances, end quote. In addition to Class 8 truck orders in September, ACT conducted research for Class 8 backlogged orders. According to data collected, there were 197,000 orders backlogged. Out of the 197,000 orders received, only 8,000 Class 8 trucks were slotted for delivery in the second quarter. Tam stated the 8,000 Class 8 trucks would have been delivered in the second quarter, yet truck manufacturers have disclosed to their customers that orders backlogged will be on allocation for 2023. And in a news segment this week, the Hire Master Tip of the Week, we're talking culture. And it all starts with your mission, your vision, and your core values. Every company needs to have a one-sentence mission statement and a one-sentence corresponding vision statement to provide clarity to all team members, as well as to clients and prospects, regarding what your company is setting out to accomplish and what will be the result of that mission as you pursue it. Making it easy to remember, yet powerful in its impact, and finding enjoyable ways for each team member to memorize it will establish a North Star for your team to work towards the same objectives. This becomes the rally cry for your company and a surefire way to create momentum and an enjoyable work environment. And that's all for this week's Redline Report. I'm Trey Griggs. Be sure to follow HireMaster on LinkedIn and subscribe to the YouTube channel to watch each episode, and leave us a like and a comment. We'll see you next time on the Redline Report, powered by HireMaster.